Kimberly Hricko had it all: a good paying job as a surgical technician, a modest home in Maryland, along with her loving and devoted husband Steve. With their daughter Anna, Kimberly had a life that most would envy. However, on February 15th, 1998, Kimberly's life would go up in smoke, literally, and the ensuing investigation would cause a media frenzy that would expose Kimberly's alternate life and other identity. For when all the cards are on the table, the Hricko's friends, family, and close associates would be shocked. A tale of murder, mystery, greed, and ambition. Next, until death do us part. Born in 1965, Kimberly Hricko had a normal childhood and upbringing. After graduating high school, she went on to college to receive her degree to become a surgical technician. It was also there that she met and married her love, Stephen Hricko. Together, the couple had a daughter, Anna, and she was the apple of both of her parents' eyes. Together, they bought a modest, beautiful home. And from the outside looking in, Kimberly had it all. But beneath that, simmering tensions were about to boil over. Kimberly had confided to friends and family that she thought about divorcing Steve after 9 years. Kimberly had also begun an affair with the Marine stationed not far from their home. Steve, sensing that his marriage was in trouble, wanted to save the marriage. He offered Kimberly counseling, and it seems as though they went and worked through their issues. And by February of 1998, the Hrickos were on the road to reconciliation. Or so many thought. Coming up, a romantic dinner and getaway ends with a brutal murder mystery. However, when police arrived on the scene, they would embark not only on a mystery, but a tale of sex, greed, and one woman's ambition for the finer things. Valentine's Day, a day filled with roses, cards, love, and candy. And while many couples were celebrating the Valentine's Day weekend in 1998, Kimberly Hricko's would come to a fiery end. In the early morning hours of February 15th, 1998, Kimberly Hricko would alert hotel staff that her room was on fire. They immediately tried to get her husband to safety, all while dispatching police. When police and firefighters arrived, they attempted to put out the blaze. And when they did, a horrible scene met their eye. Stephen Hricko had been burned from the waist up and was nearly unrecognizable. Along with the bed and some of the other furniture in the room, everything else was ash and dust. Kimberly Hricko was taken down to the police station where she gave her formal statement. This is what she told them. After the murder mystery dinner, Stephen Hricko proceeded to get sloppy drunk and tried to force himself on her. Kimberly, so disgusted with his behavior, left the hotel to go visit a friend that lived nearby. However, after driving for about an hour to an hour and a half, she got lost. So, according to Kimberly, she decided to come back to her hotel and sleep it off. However, she claimed that when she got back to her hotel, she had seen smoke and lights flickering in the room and thus alerted hotel staff. And while police listened to Kimberly's story, many questions began to arise. For starters, if you got lost going to a friend's house, why not call the friend that you were going to visit? Also, police started to receive tips that Kimberly Hricko was not the innocent grieving widow as she claimed to be. However, police were still at a standstill. Why would Kimberly want to kill her husband? That answer would come in the form of two things: Stephen Hricko's $200,000 life insurance policy, along with gossip from the hospital to which Kimberly worked. And the gossip was, Kimberly was looking for a hitman to get rid of her husband. Kimberly had offered many people up to $50,000 to get rid of her husband. And while police were busy, hot on the trail on the streets, the forensic and arson reports started pouring back in. And the results of those reports were shocking. Stephen Hricko was dead prior to the fire, and the fire was set intentionally. Police believe that Stephen Hricko was poisoned with succinylcholine before being set on fire. Succinylcholine is a drug to which Kimberly worked closely with. And as the evidence began to pile up, it all began to point to one person. And on that day, Kimberly Hricko was arrested for the first-degree murder of her husband. Coming up, Kimberly Hricko will stand trial in a case that sparked a media frenzy and will leave many questioning. Was it a simple tragic accident? The year 1999, and Kimberly Hricko is about to stand trial for the murder of her husband, Steve. The surgical technician was accused, according to prosecution, of using succinylcholine to render her husband unconscious, ultimately killing him. And once he was dead, she set about covering her tracks. Kimberly would set her hotel room, the hotel room's bed, and part of her husband's body on fire in order to make it look like a drunk accident. Her motive? To avoid a messy divorce, to retain full custody of their daughter Anna, and collect on her husband's $200,000 life insurance policy. Kimberly would sit stone-faced throughout the entire ordeal up until former friends and colleagues testified how Kimberly desperately tried to find a hitman before she opted to do the job herself. When the defense entered their case, they claimed that it was a simple drunk accident, that Steve Hricko was too drunk and was smoking a cigar, fell asleep, and thus the cigar fell onto the ground and lit the room ablaze. And with no real evidence proving that succinylcholine was used, many started to wonder if the jury would acquit Kimberly. However, when the jury came back, mouths would hang open, for they found that Kimberly Hricko was guilty of the first-degree murder of her husband Steve and sentenced her to life in prison plus 30 years. Kimberly Hricko still receives many visitors in prison. Her daughter Anna and a new granddaughter are among the many. Stephen Hricko, however, was robbed of the very chance to be the grandfather we knew he could be. For all his efforts to keep his marriage intact, his family together, were all in vain. His only crime was living by his vows, for rich or for poor, through sickness and in health, till death do us part.